Bollocks! 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 Hello all our chums out there. Welcome to Toyah and Robert, your deeply unqualified agony aunts, ready to serve up a pile of useless answers for only a tiny few of your increasingly many on fire burning questions.
Steve Hall, this is a really burning question, Steve. Hello guys, if you fancy kicking back, never heard that before, watching some old TV for a laugh and a giggle, what old shows would you pick? Schitt's Creek!
Well, it depends, you see, old shows. Now, I'm 74, so what are my old shows? 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, noughties or 2010s? Well, I say Schitt's Creek.
It's wonderful. We watch an awful lot of documentaries, anything on Ted Bundy, because we used to spend so much time in Seattle. I know it sounds weird, but Ted Bundy and Seattle go hand in hand. You can see how it happened because it's all forests. So we watch a lot of documentaries about that and just hear stories from people we know. And God bless all those people. I watched a brilliant documentary the other day on X-ray specs and a brilliant one on the Pogues and Shane McGowan. So we tend to we don't watch that much TV, to be honest. We only get about an hour a night.
If I were going to suggest a recent documentary, it would be Capital with Thomas Piketty.
And what was the one about the bank heist, where the woman organised it all? Was it The Most Evil or something?
Oh, it was something Evil Genius.
Evil Genius. Astonishing. Absolutely astonishing. Gary, Broomfield. Hi guys, if you weren't in music business, what would your careers be?
Well, I would probably remained in estate agency and auctioneering. I don't feel I would have been a good estate agent, but taking over my father's auctioneering, I think I would have been excellent.
Would you have been a curmudgeon?
No, dear. I would not have been at all curmudgeonly with the clients in Temple Hall auction rooms. I would have been a winner.
I have always loved Barbara Hepworth and Liz Frink. Both were sculptors or sculptresses, and their work inspired me and still inspires me so much that I think if I wasn't in music and acting and in production, I would be a sculptress or an artist. I'm not sure I'd ever be as great as those two women, but that is something that I always felt inclined towards.
I don't know how good the singing was, lovey.
Oh, I bet it was wonderful. Liz Purcell. Hello, Toyah and Robert. Are you campers? I can't even get him in the garden. Have you been in the garden today? Are you a camper?
The last time I went camping, that is, as a working musician or touring musician of some kind, was in a caravan shared with Greg Lake's group, The Shame, in Penzance Caravan Camp in early '67. When I was their unpaid roadie.
In '67, you were a huge star by then.
No, I wasn't. I was just leaving college and preparing, thinking, considering to go to London as a professional player.
How was the caravan?
Oh, it was terrible with stinky young men.
Okay, I was brought up at the weekends. I was born in Birmingham. At the weekends, we had a boat on the River Avon, which is where we live now, but we also had a caravan. So I was used to that kind of environment and used to kind of bunk bed sleeping. But camping, I've only really done on TV. I had to spend 10 days in the Negev desert studying with the Israeli SAS, and I adored doing that. But we were sleeping in wadis. Now, a wadi is a dried up riverbed, which apparently can flash flood at any time. So what we were doing was potentially really dangerous, and we had to avoid the snakes and the scorpions. So that's the only time I've really camped. But really, I cannot get my husband in the garden, yet alone camping. You also ask, Liz, do we frequent hotels? Well, you do. You're on tour.
May I say that sleeping in a dried up riverbed with snakes and other creatures
and SAS men
Yeah, it's likely to have been a better quality of accommodation with Greg Lake in the Shame in a caravan.
It was gorgeous.
In Penzance Caravan Park in early 1967.
Okay, hotels. I will do anything to get home after a show because I'm so hypersensitive that a hotel room is like a train station for me. I can feel and hear everyone that's been in there before. You're okay with hotels, aren't you?
Well, I've got to say it depends which hotels.
Okay, the Headland, Newquay, family-owned hotel. We adore it. They treat you like royalty. It's not an expensive hotel. You can have wonderful walks on the stormy headland. I adore that place.
I've been in Holiday Inns in places in America that I can't even describe in polite company.
Edinburgh Travel Lodge.
May I say, however many naff Holiday Inns I've stayed in the late 1969 through to the mid-70s, they bear nothing on the Edinburgh Travel Lodge.
Oh, Brendan Eyre. Do you and Robert like cheese? I'm starting this one. My husband, when we do settle to watch telly, which we do between 8 and 9, and then my sweetheart goes to bed, all I can smell is cheese. And I now associate watching TV with cheese. So what cheeses do you like?
I have nothing further to add to your answer to this question.
Do we eat cheese? I've been in the recording studio all day, and for lunch I had a piece of sourdough bread and a piece of cheddar cheese. Now that for me was breaking all the rules, and it was absolutely delicious. At Christmas, our master builder gives us a cheese hamper, and it's breathtaking, and it's local cheeses, and we really do stuff those down.
They are superb. Those are exquisite cheeses.
Yeah, so the answer is yes, but we do view cheese as a treat, except for my husband, who views it something that he will eat in front of the TV. Paula, I have an interest in astrology and tarot. Do you think they are subjects worthy of study? Absolutely. If you look at the history of China and astrology, you cannot fault it. I get quite angry when people poo-poo it, and astronomy and astrology they're not good mixes, they're polarised, and it makes me quite cross because it's so bloody obvious astrology works.
I would recommend Richard Tarnas, an associate professor and cultural historian of the California Institute of Integrative Studies.
That's a hard one.
He's on YouTube, wonderful book, Cosmos and Psyche. In terms of the tarot, well, yes, I have a feeling there's a lot in there if we take it seriously.
The universe has to give you a positive, negative answer. It's the whole thing about creation, positive, negative. There's virtually nothing in the middle. So therefore, tarot, dowsing, pendulum, they're all going to work. They have to work. It's the pure nature of our universe.
All right.
Okay, Cartley Enman, do you think you two will ever get another pet to continue Willie Fred's legacy? I would have to be here and able to give the time to an animal and the companionship to an animal. And at the moment, our schedule is breathtakingly busy. And considering we're still in lockdown, we've never been busier. I could not put an animal through that isolation. I love the idea of holding another little bunny rabbit and putting a bunny rabbit in Robert's arms, and he gets all soft and kissy and cooey. It's really lovely to see, but I can't see Willie Fred happening for another 2 years. I have 4 tours next year. I'm kicking into a movie any minute now, and I've got 2 albums out this year. It's really busy, and I'm so blessed that it is busy. Diana Jennings, most important question, is it red sauce or brown sauce on the bacon butty?
I don't recall eating a bacon butty.
Never?
I don't recall it. However, I remember being taught by Greg Lake, this aforementioned caravan camp in Penzance in early 1967, the merits of a chip butty. These young men, including me, had no money at all. So it was a question of how to fill yourself up. So Greg Lake's recommendation was you had your chip butty, lots and lots of chips, and you had a pint of milk. This was Greg's recommendation. Today, I might go as far as a veggie burger, but I wouldn't want brown sauce or red sauce on it. However, perhaps a little mustard.
I'm a Birmingham girl. I can remember my father making bacon butties, and this discussion we had round the table almost 60 years ago. Is it brown sauce? Is it red sauce? My father loved brown sauce. I think we introduced Bill to brown sauce as well because it's rich and it's tasty. I would have tomato sauce if I'm on a film set and say I've got a really physical scene and I know we're going to do 20 takes of it. That lunchtime I would have chips on a plate with tomato sauce. But bacon butty, no. We're vegetarian now, and I did used to love bacon, but we've been virtually full veggie for the whole of the year. We do occasionally eat fish, but I'm probably more veggie than Robert now. So red sauce, brown sauce, not in our lives at the moment.
These are meaningless things to me.
Okay, this is really meaningful. Raul Guerrero. You say, do you have any words for someone with a heart in the process of healing?
What would you say, Lovey?
This is not what you're going to want to hear all time. Only time can do that. And I would say to you, the way you're feeling now, if you're mulling over everything, working everything through, seeing if anything could have changed, if you could have done anything differently, you've got to be kind to yourself and stop those stories and those scenarios. Live now. So every time you are running through something that is breaking your heart or you feel you're to blame for or you could have changed, stop the dialogue. You owe yourself that. Think of something that makes you happy, whether it's a childhood experience or being with someone who is kind and unconditional towards you. You have to stop the dialogue, but you won't stop the pain. And we're in lockdown. It's so understandable you're in pain. So try and stop the dialogue. Your personal happiness is what matters, and happiness attracts. Happiness attracts positivity. And all I can say to you is, please, try and move on from that hurt you. Now, if the person that hurt you is still around, you have a right to move on. If you're talking about grief and physical loss, you will live with that void forever, but you learn to walk around it. Your life, your happiness, be kind to yourself because you deserve that. Do not punish yourself. Whatever's happened has happened. Be in the moment and think about the future. And I really, really hope, Raul, that something moves on positively for you. And thank you for asking us that.
Well, I would say if this is the case of a lost love, if you really, really love your friend, it doesn't matter. And if you really, really don't love your friend, it doesn't matter. But in between, you're hurting. So I go with T. Be kind to yourself, but a warning. Do not jump into a rebound situation.
Is that the voice of experience?
It's seeing the results of several friends, sweetie.
Okay, all right. Well, thank you, Raul. Casimir Sababin. I'm laughing because I'm sure someone's done that knowing I can't read. Your question is, as you said, you two have been closer during the last year than ever before. Well, we've physically been in the same place for a year. First time in 35 years. Are you planning to go back to the life you had before lockdown, or has something changed for good?
I would say yes, there's quite a few things have changed for good. But if we're looking in personal situation, I've been a touring musician since 1969, and I've realised in lockdown how much so many of my common assumptions and the way I organise my life are based on the life of constant movement, 24/7 on call. So this permeates everything I do, how I organise my desk, my office, my computing, my guitars, my musical thinking, and I have a feeling that that will change very definitely.
I have never seen anything as soul-breaking, and I just don't know how you do it. When I visit you on the road, this is Robert's day. Get to the venue. It takes a flight, it takes a bus. You move into the venue, you do a sound check, then you wait a couple of hours, you do a 3.5 hour show, get back to the hotel, unpack, then pack again. Bags sometimes have to be outside the door at midnight. You back up at 4 o'clock to get to an airport, and you do it all again. I've never seen anything like it, and you have done this for how many decades?
Well, since 1969, dear, so kind of 52 years.
So in answer to your question, I think things have to change, and things have changed that will remain the same. And what we've both agreed on, Robert and I, that we will not carry people that delegate their work back to us, and we will not carry people that cause us drama. And lockdown has made this so clear to us, and being left alone for 12 months, we've become super creative again. We're in love with what we do. We love writing songs. It's like, oh, this is what it feels like to be a musician. And there's so much external interference when we are out there working. We've decided to put barriers up to stop that ever happening to us again. And you may be thinking, oh, that's cruel, that's arrogant. I'm not going to do someone else's paperwork for them anymore. I'm not going to organise someone else's food when all they've got to do is go to a bloody theatre canteen and get it. I'm not going to organise people's laundry and stuff like that. You will not believe how much is expected of me in the outside world. Even people texting me this week about their plane tickets, and they're not even in my band or in my work circle. It's phenomenal. So we've just decided we are now artists, and that's how we're going to stay.
Good.
What's the magic chord today?
Well, since you've asked, little sweetie, let me see. Bollocks. Bollocks! Bollocks!
Bollocks!
No, that's not much of a magic chord, is it? How about this one then? Bollocks! Yeah, I like that one. It's a version of a G major 7th, which if we put that in the bass. Bollocks! Well, you get the general idea.
Okay.
I mean, this really is a quite... Look, I have to explain. I am not good at playing guitar on camera, right? Is this a surprise to anyone watching? And if I go into a performance mode of any kind, unless I've been practiced in a focused fashion for at least an hour, and in a professional show, 2 hours, and with Crimson I'm practicing 2 to 4 hours at the venue before the show, you realise just walking in here with a guitar around my head, coming from a pile of useless answers to your burning questions, don't expect a lot from the guitarist. Oh. Play ain't music, dear. Bollocks.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for your questions. Keep them coming in. We love answering them for you. We wish you all love, luck, health, and happiness. Take care. We'll see you tomorrow for a really wonderful Sunday lunch in which Robert is going to be breathtaking as usual. And we are thinking of you. Bye from Toyah.
And Robert.